Assalamualaikum and good greetings. Today I will be watching this video by Andrei Jikh titled How to Invest for Teenagers. So I'm interested to see what is going to be said about this because I have my son, the eldest son, that is going towards this age, right? So I'm hoping I'm giving him and the other children a good financial foundation or basic that will help them a lot in the future, right? So because some of us are not equipped with that growing up, some of us are fortunate to have that, right? So perhaps I'm going to be talking about my own personal journey about financial aspect in another video. I'm not sure whether any of you are interested in that. I'm very interested in personal finance videos actually. So Andrei Jikh is one of the YouTuber that I subscribe to, among others. So anyway, so this is because the title is about teenagers. I'm interested to know, hopefully there are some important things that I can realize to help my children. So without further ado, let's go and watch this video.
Wipe. It worked! It's a totally outdated meme by now and it does not make any sense, but the first piece of advice is get a haircut. And if you clicked on this video looking for investing advice for teenagers, you're probably Gen Z. Or maybe you're just a parent who's looking for advice for their kids, or maybe you've stumbled on the dark corners of the interwebs at 3 a.m., but whichever one it is, you've come to the right place.
So I'm the second one, right? I'm the parent.
And speaking of all the different types of generations, I just read somewhere that Zoomers are destroying millennials on TikTok. And that just isn't fair. Because millennials inherited the worst economy known to man, we have the lowest job prospects, the least amount of money out of all the generations, boomers think that we're entitled, and now Zoomers are beating up on us? I can't start this video on adulting until I've had my morning coffee and you smash the like button because you owe it to me. Don't be such a Hufflepuff. I cannot do this video with a straight.
Oh yeah, so why not? Smash the like button. Alright, continue on.
Straight face. This is ridiculous. Being a millennial is the thing I hate and love about myself the most, and this wasn't even bought for this video. I literally had this in my kitchen pantry. This is embarrassing. Everyone knows that us millennials were a mistake, so leave Brittany alone. But jokes aside, let's talk about the best investing advice for teenagers, and this really applies to everybody. The earlier on in life you hear this, the better off you'll be. I just wish this was stuff that I heard when I was in my teens, because I would have ended up with a lot more money than playing cards on my bank account. But lucky me, I watched The Secret. And the power of The Secret compels me to make money out of all these playing cards. Clearly real bills, because money's stiff like that. Let's begin. Hi, my name is Andrei Jikh, and
yeah, earlier on, I think years back, right, his channel is more on about magic tricks, right? So now he's more on finance, but interestingly he managed to integrate those things as well as the video transition, which is, I think, awesome, right? I hope I can get to that level one day, right? I'm talking about the video stuff. About the magic stuff, I don't have the hand to do that.
And I like to think of life kind of like a video game, except we don't get to pick the characters that we play as or the stats, because those get assigned to us at random. But just like life, you get to control your character. And as long as you explore the entire map and you collect all the items and all the special Pokemon like this Happy Birthday Pikachu, which I'm really proud of owning. And as long as you grind and level up, then the game will get a lot easier. But I want you to remember that if it ever gets frustrating or tough, you don't just quit playing the game. You continue practicing as long as you remember that there's a ton of RNG involved in this game of life. You cannot influence much because the RNG preferably favors those who are born into elite guilds with lots of coin. So the best thing that you can do is continue unlocking those special abilities, special skills, collecting all the items, leveling up, and that's when this game will get a lot more fun. So kind of think of this video as your video guide slash walkthrough tutorial. So starting with the first teen level, level 13, you might be wondering, Andre, I've got like 100 coins to invest. Where do I put them? And the answer is wherever it's going to promise to give you the greatest amount of returns. And if you're thinking of taking this money and putting it in something like the stock market, then please understand this super simple fact. Whether you have $100 or $1,000, right now the best amount of money that you can make from this is a couple hundred extra dollars in just a few months. But at worst, you can lose your entire principal investment, and that's not worth the risk. So instead, take this money and put it into your own character development of boosting your stats. But if you don't have the money to do it, then understand that life takes a different kind of currency as well. And that is Visa. No, I'm kidding, it's not a plug for Visa, it's actually time. You can invest either your money or your time, but this level is very easy and you're literally doing it right now. So watch as many tutorials as possible and pay a special close attention to people who look like they beat the game a couple times. That includes your teachers, your parents, and your grandparents who literally played that game on hard mode. This is the age to learn and listen. Now a level...
So, that's an important point. Because the currency of money is one, but the currency of time, right? But how to entice the children? I'm talking about my kids, right? Because they use their time, perhaps just like what I did with my teenage years, right? It's like something to waste, right? So just do whatever, waste the time. Hopefully, because if they can tune into this mindset, I'm not sure. Because unfortunately, because if I can show this video to my kids, because it is interesting enough for me. I'm not sure about teens, right? But because the way he do it is he combine many aspects that make it interesting, I think, even for younger audience. However, my kids are not used to listen to things in English. That's the problem, I think. And unfortunately, perhaps we should have those doing this in Malay, right?
14, I strongly suggest that you start reading. Now, when I was younger, I hated reading. I don't know about you, but I just could not stand when people...
I still hate reading.
...suggested or recommended or told me what I had to read. That's why I started with picture books like this one, because I wasn't very bright. I'm still not, but I'm moving on from picture books. It's progress, but the first book you have to read is The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. It's going to change the way you look at money and life. Please read that book. The second book is I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. Ignore the clickbait title of the book, it's actually a really good book. And the third book is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, but that's the millennial in me, and that's actually a really good book. It's my favorite. If you want to go advanced or hard mode, then please read The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. It's going to give you a lot of advanced tips and tricks about investing your money in the stock market when you're ready, but you're not there yet. Now levels 15 and 17.
So before I can ask my children to read that book, I have to read it first, right? So 2 books to read in the bucket list.
Are some of my favorites, and that's because we start to evolve. So don't mind the fact that you'll be seeing some physical changes. It's pretty normal in preparation for level 18, but in level 15, the first thing you want to try to do is get yourself a job. I got my first job at level 15, and it taught me the fact that I could make money, but also the value of that money. True story, when I was in high school, I was flipping through this magazine and I saw this Mercedes SLK for $60,000, and I thought, wow, that's cheaper than I thought. And as soon as I got my job, I unlocked the reality skill.
In Malaysia, you will not think that, right? Because in Malaysia, the tax on vehicle, those kind of cars is like, what, 300, 400K?
And I realized that working part-time for $9 an hour, I would never be able to afford a car like that. And from that moment on, I never asked my parents for a single thing again because I realized the time and the value that it would take to earn each and every single dollar. Also,
I need my children to learn that. They keep asking to buy stuff like money is printed on the back, on the what, I'm not sure where is it printed, but it's like I'm coming back with money from somewhere. I just go to work and just collect money and come back, right? So
also between levels 14 and 17, go on as many side quests as you can. Try everything. except for the things you know you shouldn't. But try YouTube, try TikTok, try cooking, try tennis, magic, cardistry, Photoshop, photography. This journey will allow you to discover your master skill, or otherwise more cheesily known as your passion. Now, most people will miss this side quest, but if you can find that skill, you will set yourself up for the rest of your life. It's almost like a cheat code. I was fortunate enough to find my special ability at level 12. And for the next 8 to 10 levels, I tried to put all of my experience points into that one and boost it to the max. That allowed me to travel the world, make friends with people I never thought in a million years I ever would, which allowed me to find my career, which eventually allowed me to consult on Now You See Me and work with Harry Potter. Yeah, I know Harry Potter's not Now You See Me, but I got to work with Daniel Radcliffe. And as cool as those experiences were, unfortunately, the world didn't place such a high dollar value on all my skills. So bonus points for you. If you can discover that special ability that society places a high value upon, then you're gonna make a lot more money than I ever did. So really think of levels 13 and 17 as levels to invest in yourself to boost your own stats, because that's where you're gonna get the greatest returns on your money, bar none. Now we've come to the most important part of the game, and that is level 18. This is gonna set you up for the rest of the playstyle of the entirety of your game. We need to collect a few key items here, so this is part of your main storyline. This is not a side quest, so don't go partying off the map. And as soon as you turn level 18...
Before that, on the side quest, right? So I wish I have found or have tried certain things much earlier, actually, right? Including talking, because I'm super introvert by nature, not by nature, meaning personally, if anyone know me close enough, I'm super introvert. I do not, in Malay we have the term kera sumbang. If you are Malay, you know this. I'm that species, right? So, but when in this kind of format, right, because I turn into something else, I wish I have found that earlier. But of course, you know, wishing like if only those kind of mindset I have left behind some time ago. So, but I hope I can give a more early opportunity to my kids to explore, and that's a mindset. How to make it happen, we will see.
The first thing you want to do is get a bank account in your own name. Look for something with a high interest rate on your savings accounts. And this means that by parking your money here, your money is going to end up making you more money, a la compound interest style, which is what we want. But here are a few of my personal favorites. Ally Bank or CIT Bank. Now right now they're both yielding around 1%, which isn't very much, but these rates fluctuate up and down depending on the economy, the market rate, which is usually set by the final boss, the Federal Reserve. So right now, everything's about the same, so don't chase it too much, because if you find something that's maybe 0.05% more, that's only $5 per year more for every $10,000 you have invested. The second item on this list is something that you absolutely need ASAP, and something that I didn't get until level 24, which is kind of embarrassing to admit, and that is a credit card. And for the longest time, I thought people with credit cards were just irresponsible with money because they bought things on plastic because they couldn't afford it. And I was so wrong, because what credit scores do is they allow other people to see how responsible you are with other people's money. And if you're good, they'll let you use their money at good interest rates. And if you think like me, well, I don't want to borrow money. If I want to buy a car or a house, I will save for it. But even if you have all that money to just pay it in cash, you should really never do that, for reasons that I will get to in another video. But as soon as you hit level 18, trust me, get yourself a credit card, because this side quest takes years to fully finish. In order to...
Yeah, so on that, because I do understand now the aspect of credit score, right? I've watched a number of YouTubers that really drill on the financial aspect, personal finance. So I understand that if meaning long term, right, it is good to have a credit card, not because you are going to spend irresponsibly, because it will track your spending and you will always pay on time, pay in full, pay on time, and that will the record will build up, and people later on when you need to borrow money, then they have that track record that says you are very, very good at managing your finance, for example, right? That give that impression. Hence, they will, meaning you have more opportunity to go about when you need them, right? So I do understand that. In my country though, I'm not sure whether they use credit score or something. I'm not sure. Yeah, so I don't even have a credit card until now, because I'm not responsible enough using plastic, right? So I have debit card, so that there's a max there, because it will not, I'm not sure how it function, but basically I can only spend the money I have in the bank account, right? So that's me. But I do understand this aspect. Not sure whether it's relevant for my case or our case in Malaysia, but anyway.
To build your credit history, personally, I recommend going with something like a secured credit card, or this Discover It Secured. It's kind of like the gold standard if you don't have history, and it's pretty cool because it gives you 2% cash back on different categories and 1% cash back on everything else. But pro tip, if you're a student in college, instead of getting that one, get yourself the cash back student edition of that card. It's the same idea, but it's going to give you better perks, and the idea of this is to get a high score of 750 or higher, and we can do all that within 8 months to 1 year if you can follow these next few steps. Number one, make sure to always pay your bills on time and never carry a balance, because if you do, you're going to pay more money in interest alone than all the rewards that you're going to get in return. If you can do all that, then 35% of your score will be accounted for just paying on time. But if you miss your payment for whatever reason, immediately pick up the phone and call the little number on the back of a credit card and ask them for forgiveness. Usually the first missed payment is going to be okay, and it can be forgiven as long as you call and ask. And then number two is the utilization rate, which accounts for a huge 30% of your score. Now, if you can keep your utilization rate of 30% or lower, you'll do just great. For you have a $1,000 monthly spending limit, spend no more than $333.33. But if you want to be ultra conservative and do what I did and get there far quicker, then utilize no more than 10% or $100 or less in this case. Now, you could literally just buy one little tiny thing, like a pack of gum or just some gas, and in that case, your utilization rate will be in the single digits, and that will improve your score dramatically. And number three is your length of history, which accounts for 15% of your credit score, which is why it's so important to do this as early as possible. Now, for me, this is what drags my score down the most, and if I had started when I was 18, my score would easily be over 800 by now. But pro tip, cheat code, if you can have your parents co-sign on their credit cards for you, then you will inherit their credit score if they have an excellent score. I couldn't do this because my parents didn't have a good score, but your mileage may vary. If you can do these three things, you will easily and quickly beat this side quest. The third item on this list is something you need to get ASAP as soon as you hit level 18. It's probably the most important part of this video, and that is a retirement account. It can be traditional or a Roth IRA. Now think of these accounts like savings accounts, except instead of putting your cash in here, what you're putting in here is mostly stocks. And the reason you want to do this is because it protects your money from taxes. In the case of a traditional IRA, you pay no taxes today, but you will pay taxes later on the money that it's grown into. In the case of a Roth IRA, you pay taxes up front, but no taxes later in life when you withdraw those millions that you're ready to retire on. If you have no idea which one you want to pick, you can actually have both, a traditional and a Roth. But remember, you can only contribute $6,000 per year, and you can contribute it down the middle however you want. 50-50, 1 year in one, 1 year in the other, doesn't really matter. Now, if you can do this early, look how much coin you can end up with, assuming a growth rate of 8%, which is what you can expect from the stock market. Now, assuming you started to max out your Roth IRA account at level 18, for 3 years, only 3 years until level 21 when you're fully evolved into an adult, you will have ended up with $781,000, which is an insane amount of money at retirement. That's amazing. If you had done this at 31, then you would have ended up with $287,000 at age 67, which is almost 2.5 times less, all because you started just 13 years later, which isn't that much of a difference. That's the power of time and compound interest at work. So pause this video if you're 18 years or older and go and make that account, because you're literally losing money right now, right?
Yeah, of course I have heard about this from him and another guy from the US as well, but I'm still trying to find what is the equivalent in my country, because we do not have the same type of opportunity, right? So I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, takaful, is it the same? But that's not the same. What is it that, maybe ASB, is it? I think in Malaysia, ASB is touted as that thing, right? So you put it there and it give you the best return, right? So I'm not sure. Anyone know what is the equivalent of this, or the most likely to be equivalent? Let me know.
Ready? Pause. Okay, I know you didn't actually pause this video, but as soon as you finish watching this video, or as soon as you turn 18, please go do that and let me know in the comments below if you actually did. And the fourth item you need to collect is to get yourself a stonk and preferably put it in a retirement account. It's gonna be one of the most complicated things you think you'll ever do, because there's thousands of companies to select from and half a dozen character playstyles to choose. You can be a growth stock wizard, a real estate investment mage, or even a defensive dividend investor, and the list goes on and on. I actually made a video about that, which I will link in the description below the video. It's super cool, and you can select exactly which character is best for you. And while you're level 18, one of the most important things that you can do is get into the habit of building good habits. And the first of these good habits is to track your expenses. I cannot emphasize this enough. Every single dollar that you make, start writing it down. Every single dollar that you spend, write it down. Write it down on a piece of paper just to get used to it manually, or you can immediately download an app like Mint or Personal Capital. Those apps track everything you make and everything you spend, and they get you into the habit of tracking all of the progress, because nothing ruins progress than not knowing where you've been, because you have no idea where you're going. And this is just as true for building wealth as it is for anything else.
Yeah, so I still feel that should I declare this? I want to track, but I'm because I did try to download mint.com, right? But it is mainly for US, because they link into your account or something and it track everything, right? So what is the best apps perhaps that you use, if any of you use apps that track your spending? Because I really want my children to have this habit, but it will not happen if they know I personally have never done that myself, right? So it will not happen if I want to teach them something that I never practice myself, right? So
the second habit you should build for yourself is to take care of your body and your health. Might seem obvious, but as soon as you level up in life, you start to forget about the skill tree more and more. And before you know it, your abs melt away, slender physique goes away, and your metabolism just vanishes and goes somewhere else. In fact, if you compare what I look like today versus my first few videos in 2019, it's like watching someone's metabolism get thick. But if you don't train your character regularly, healthcare costs will continue to expand, and before you know it, it's gonna be your #1 expense in retirement. And the third good habit is to be frugal and live well below your means. And I don't mean be cheap, because being cheap is just not wanting to spend money for the sake of it and never getting any enjoyment or value out of life. But being frugal is to take that same dollar and stretch it to the most of your ability. But don't fall into the trap of saying,
life is short. Live a little.
Actually, statistically, life is not short. You're gonna live to be a very old person someday, statistically speaking. And if you can be happy with less, you'll succeed a lot earlier. This is one of the most difficult skills to build. But if you can learn how to delay your gratification, you are scientifically proven to end up with more money. I'm gonna give you a cheat code of my very own. It's a little privileged because not everyone can use this, but if you have parents that you can convince to set you up with a custodial account, then you can give them your money that you earn from your job, and they will invest the money for you. And as soon as you turn 18 and you level up, you will inherit that account, and you'll know exactly what to do because you watched this video and you smashed the like button. The other cheat code I will leave is a free link to my Discord channel where we talk about investing and everything in between. It's an incredible community, and I'll give you 3 more free stocks, 3 more free cheat codes. Sign up to Webull or get your parents to do it with a custodial account. You get a free stock up to $250, and if you fund your account $100, you'll get another free stock valued up to $1,400, and I will be paid, but you don't have to use my links. Just go get those free stocks and get your 3rd free stock from Robinhood simply for signing up. Love you all. Thank you so much for watching this video. You can follow me on Instagram. I post from time to time, and I'll see you back here on Monday and Friday. Please use this video as a reference guide. Come back to it anytime. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions. I'll try my best to get back to them, and I try to answer all the comments that you guys leave. Thank you so much for watching again, and if you're 18 or younger, then congratulations for even watching this video and getting this far. You are much farther ahead than all of your peers and all of your friends. It's unbelievable that you're here. Good job. Go out there, go level up. Just make sure to enjoy all the levels in between, because life goes fast. Bye-bye.
yeah, so personally, I've been thinking this for several months, right? Because I found these YouTubers that are both interesting and very informative in terms of setting your mind, in terms of getting it right, in terms of your personal finance, right? So I can only wish I know this much earlier, right? So that's one thing. So that's where I think how to get my children's into the correct mindset about finance. Not sure how yet, right? Because you cannot lecture them, right? So that's one thing. For me personally, because he did mention towards the end about parents, right? The role of parents, etc., in terms of the account, etc. So personally, I think I will touch on this on a different video, because that is more of a overall of how I look at finance, where am I right now. I'm not sure if anyone is actually interested in that, right? Because this person, Andrei Jikh, and there's another person that I will maybe react to one of his video and introduce him. They are very transparent in terms of the whole thing, right? So I'm thinking of going towards a journey that show that aspect as well. Not sure whether there will be audience for it, but at least my children, at least it is for my children, right? So that is important, I think. Yeah, so I was just saying that I was fortunate because my parents really set us up in a very good way. Not in terms of the mindset thing, but in terms of when I was reaching the age of 18, they already set up certain things from my birth that we already have this to start with, right? So I'm very fortunate in that sense, right? So compared to others that have to on their own feet start from zero, I didn't start from zero, right? So I also want to, but as mentioned in this video at the very beginning, the best thing is to invest in yourself, develop yourself to higher level, right? So because if you have that, you're good to go, meaning you know what to do and how to use your resources to the optimum level, right? Because when I look at my children, sometimes I think that even there's a windfall of $1 million given to them, they will spend it like crazy. So that is not good, right? So to train them to have the good mindset, the proper habits, hopefully we can do that before they turn 18, inshallah. Wallahu alam. What about you? I don't think there will be youngsters watching my video. I don't think so, but because some of those that watch my video are my students, right? If you are one of them, what about you? Because I see some of my students in the university level, right? And they seem not to have a good financial habits and discipline, right? So that concerns me actually, right? But anyway, thank you for watching. Comment down below what you think about what was advised, especially if you know the equivalence of any of those in Malaysia, right? Because yeah, I'm searching for that. Thank you for watching. See you next time.